Hello, this is a reading for Capricorn Moon. Welcome in. Hello. Glad to see you. The moon readings I'm doing are pretty likely to be predictions for you for the coming times the moon is in that, in that place. So this is for Capricorn Moon. Whenever the moon's in Capricorn, or if your moon is in Capricorn in your birth chart. It can also be for your sun sign. It's all kind of, it's a wash. Whatever it is for you is good. The Three of Swords comes out right away for you. So we're just going to get right into, obviously the cards are very excited to talk about this broken heart energy. Break the chain. This reminds me of that Fleetwood Mac song. With that really cool breakdown. Do, 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 do. And then the drum. Pop, 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 pop. Think of a breakdown like... Oh, that's funny. Well, you can think of a breakdown like a breakdown in a really good prog rock song, Pardon me. You can think of a breakdown like a really good breakdown. It breaks it down and then it just builds, and then or in a dance track there's a breakdown and then there's a build up and then there's a drop, and we like those moments. We get excited when there is this breaking down of things, because we just know as soon as, and it's maybe not in the breaking down that we get excited, it's in the starting it back up again slowly that gets really, really exciting. So if you're finding yourself in a place like this where things have broken down, give it a minute, because I feel like this is where this energy starts, and I can already feel where it's about to go. It's not by no means the end. That's that. Nine of Swords. It is sad. Aww. It's troubling. There's lots to think about here. There's lots in this space to think about. Okay, we might have a bit of a downward turn in and around Capricorn Moon. And the cards are just like, what's the point of reading any more cards? I feel like this kind of really down. The Dream Carrier. This is the Empress. We're going to give you okay. Are you sure it's yours? Is what the cards are saying. Are you sure it's your, and I don't mean to use the word breakdown and to kind of lessen the weight of it and make it so general, but breaking the heartbreak. Are you sure that's yours? Because I'm seeing the cards pointing to what's troubling you is that someone else is going through trouble. Someone else is troubled. That, am I talking to maybe some people who are highly empathic and get caught up in other people's stuff? Are you sure it's your breakdown? Or is someone else spinning out? Is there a Taurus spinning out for you? Look at this spinning out. Yeah, it's kind of like, what did you think was going to happen? If you take other people's states personally, then you're going to embody their states. What did you think was going to happen? So maybe there's a little bit of an energy that's going to be a bit more revealing of the fact that you brought on, almost like by taking on somebody else's spinning out. Like somebody else is having a hard time, and we can be empathic to that, but there's something like Is there too much empathy to the point where you start to take it on as if it's yours? Is it your breakdown? The Lady of Swords. And the Moon Chariot. Or are they taking you there? They're taking you there. So not to shame anybody or anything like that for having the ability to, really take in other people's emotions, but it'd be like something like if somebody's really struggling with something, and you're the type of person to take on other people's struggles as your own struggles, which is very lovely, actually. If you're not willing to be with somebody in their struggles, then you probably shouldn't be willing to be with them in, all their other things. I see that there's a conscious decision to take you on a ride, though. So I worry about that. I would say there's something there, like not to accuse anybody of anything, but it does look like they're deciding to take you there. And I guess how you feel about that, how you feel about them deciding to take you there is up to you. And it's going to give you a good indication of what kind of connection you have with somebody. How do you feel about somebody taking you to the place where you feel as they do in their struggles? 8 of Wands. How do you feel about somebody wanting to take you there? Ooh, question. So there's no indication of right or wrong answer. 6 of Wands. You've been a safe place for somebody to open up and talk about stuff. You've been, so this is about somebody has confided in you, or we had that in the previous, in the Aquarius reading, I think, about confiding. And this is like somebody has taken it's like respite or refuge in your connection. And they want to take you to where they are in how they feel. Lord of Cups. Question is, how do you feel about that? Capricorn. Energy is about coming into how you feel about being taken on a ride when somebody's having a hard time. Taken for a ride. I almost feel like somebody's going to pick you up and take you for a drive because they want to vent, or, they're going to direct the course of things for a little while because they need to be able to represent how troubled they are. They're going to take up a lot of airtime. They're going to take up some space. And they want to take up space. Judgment. How do you feel about that? You're going to have an indication of how far that goes with somebody on that day, or if you're reading for Capricorn, the next Capricorn moon. There's something, a message for you about a certainty or a reassurance that if you are sensing something like this on that day, this is kind of like the depths of it. They're really going through it, and they're really going to, take you on a ride through their story. And to remember to focus on how you feel about it, not how you feel about them having those feelings, but just to remember that you are a very empathic person, and you are going to take in somebody else's story, and you're going to feel the emotions of it. And and they actually want you to. They're looking for empathy. Is there something to be said for it's not their fault that you are empathic? And just because they're taking up your time with something, it doesn't mean they're doing anything wrong. And just because, it seems like this to me seems like it could either be a very lovely relationship or it could be a very annoying relationship. If you are someone who frequently gets into something like this with everybody, maybe at this point it would be a bit annoying because it's like, oh, another person needs my shoulder to cry on or something. But if it's a really good friend and you really want to connect with this person and you have that deep ability to do that, and they invite you to go on the ride of hearing their story, depends on who you are. It depends on where you're at. And I guess it's just reminding you that in neither of those cases is it their fault that you are empathic. They're not taking you, they're not trying to get you, is what the cards are trying to tell you. Like there's a spirit message here to remind you that, you know, you have a responsibility as an empathic person. Maybe not to control your emotions, okay? But it is to recognize that it's not other people's fault that you have them. And that their stories aren't too much. Don't tell somebody they're being too much when they're telling you their struggles. If you're an empathic person, you understand what it's like to be in the position to be telling someone your struggles. And you would never want to say that to them because you would never want to experience that yourself. So I'm not sure if I'm speaking to somebody who wouldn't automatically say yes to all this. It just seems like these are the rules. This is the outline. This is, don't forget, you know, it's not their fault that you have feelings. And, you know, there's definitely something to be said for, you know, there are things that people can do that can make you feel certain ways. But if somebody's just telling their story and you feel a certain way, don't forget those are your feelings. People tend to say, oh, I'm an empath and I can't tell the difference between my feelings and other people's feelings sometimes. And it's like, No, it's not the way it works. That's not the way it works. I mean, it can be, we can consider that's the way it works, but you might want to back away from that because that gets a bit toxic. When you start accusing people of injecting feelings into your body, only for the fact that you would have no way of dealing with them at that point. You're disempowering yourself. Why am I talking to the Capricorn Moon reading like this? I think there's just this general sense of like, stay on your A game during this time. Stay on your A game. If you're an empathic person and people tend to be, you know, coming to you for support, there's an idea here for you, is you don't know why they need the safe place. Until they tell you the story. You don't know exactly why they imagine you are a safe place. They just know that you are. Give yourself a compliment. You've done this before. They already imagine you're a safe place. Be innocent. Well, this is interesting. This is a new kind of reading. I'm just predicting that there's going to be somebody who wants you to, you know, kind of be an ear, a listening ear. It's because you're open-minded, maybe. They know that you're a safe place. Maybe it's somebody you've never met before. It could be somebody you've never met before and all of a sudden they open up all this stuff and they just have a sense. They don't know why. They imagine that you're the safe place that they need, but there they are. There you are. And they have a feeling like you're a safe person. So maybe there's something there. Maybe there's something about how inviting you are and how open-minded you are, and it comes off. It rubs off on people, that people learn that about you. If there's one more thing to say, it's about this Ouroboros, about snake eating its own tail. Don't let your empathy, your empathic abilities, be the reason why you disconnect from others. Message from Spirit, like direct. 3 of Pentacles. Well, You might be surprised to learn that you're actually very, very good at something. So I'm going to see that this is going to open a door. So in whatever capacity this happens, we're getting the most extreme case scenario is somebody's really spinning out and you just happen to be there. This is the story I can think of is like you're going into a grocery store and there's somebody who's in the middle of like a mental health crisis and you manage to just be there at the right time to just stand there, and then they turn to you and say, can you believe this? This is happening, that is happening. You're like, oh, wow, and you might be somebody in that moment who just has an open mind. It just so happens you've got the capacity to kind of listen. And for some reason, they're attracted to you. For some reason, they imagine that you are a safe space to kind of, take you on that ride with them. I have a good feeling. I have a message that this is a good person. Obviously, do everything you need to do to keep yourself safe in any circumstance. Obviously, we're reading general energy, and obviously these are to be interpreted as metaphors. But let's say if we are hitting the nail on the head that you're going to be at the grocery store when the next time the moon's in Capricorn, and there's going to be somebody who's just spinning out at the grocery store. The message here is that they're a good person, that they're not trying to get you. They're not trying to hurt you. Something like that. That they actually, because maybe we have a suspicion sometimes that there are people who are just trying to rope you in or suck you into their drama. This is not that. This looks like it's going to actually lead to something of a maybe even working relationship. It seems as though this is part of awakening you to something of an ability that you have as an empathic person. And so, it's up for you to decide if you want to engage with it or not. But I see that this is like an opportunity to work with real life training. It's almost like you're getting you have a practicum coming up, right? As a healer or as a seer or as a reader, something like that. And sometimes it's just about listening. I do need to do that more. No, we listen lots here. Not here as much as maybe we could. I would love to do that. I'd love to we used to do these things called call-in readings, where we'd have a Discord channel open and somebody would call in, we'd get your voice. I think because we heard Retrospin's voice the other day and it was so, there were comments because Retrospin has a stream. There were comments. So we can hear each other's voices. That would be something. Although we do have something special with everybody having the anonymity of whoever they want to, there's something everywhere. I'm very shocked at how well we can connect or, do readings over with me, with somebody there just typing. Well, you know what? I just grabbed a few more cards for you. I'm not exactly sure why. I think what I did is I forgot that we were recording. So Capricorn, you get a little bit of something there, that my communication with the chat there. Well, feel free to come into the Twitch readings if you'd like. You're going to be a worker of some sort. And there's this kind of awareness that there's going to be some work done. Going to get some work done. You're being released into the wild almost with these newfound skills, and not like you're going to encounter your first kind of practical internship type thing. If you like this, feel free to, check out the other readings too and come to Twitch. Thanks so much. Take care.